but I can tell you it will not sell. It will be very difficult to sell this property. So, or if they're buying something near highway or too much traffic. So try not to just look to sell to get your commission. Please be genuine about your level of service and commitment, because once they buy that type of ugly property, they will try to blame you. They will try to blame you. So we have found the property. So far, we are trying to show them property. We have found the property. Remember, in buying property negotiation, it's an 80-20 rule, which means that 20% of the deal happens in the last, 80% of the deal happens in the last 20% of the time. So let me give you an example. If you're going for face-to-face negotiation with someone and you're representing the buyer, if your appointment is at 6 o'clock, do not book any appointment after that, because you don't know how long it takes to negotiate. If you have another commitment, then you will be in a hurry and you will not get that property, because you have to be relaxed. Most of the things does not happen at the beginning. It takes time. Most of the things happen toward the end of negotiation. Okay? So that's just a general rule of thumb. And once they sign, the question that you raised, that they have signed an agreement, it's a binding agreement. So if there are no conditions, it is difficult to change their mind. So yes, getting a mortgage or inspecting the property is not your duty. They have to do it. They have to arrange it. But as an agent, you want to be on top of it. And by the way, those of you that are newer agents, you're required to be along with your client when going for inspection. If you're not going, you're breaking the rules. So you cannot send your buyer to say, go with the inspection and do the property inspection. You have to be there at the time of inspection. You're required. Once the property is sold conditional, usually there is 5 days. Of course, there are exceptions, but usually there are 5 days. And there are 3 options after 5 days. Either you waive the conditions, which means the deal becomes firm, or you make changes, it's called amendment, or you sign a mutual release, which means you want your deposit back and you don't want the deal. And different scenarios, you will use these 3 options, but it's one of them. It's 3 options, but you select one of them. Okay? Once the deal is firm, you have to, this is not your responsibility, but we are looking at quality of service. It is about you getting the insurance and arranging the insurance, trying to coordinate with them, meeting of the lawyer for the closing. I think that is the end of my presentation, but I will just, this is the last slide, and I want to summarize what I have said. So what you want to do in the system that I have taught, although I wanted to elaborate more, but I think for whatever reason, we don't have enough time to elaborate on different slides. But if you just work for a couple of hours in your day, you will be very successful. This is not a full-time business. Just work for a couple of hours, which means between the hours of 6 and 8, keep in touch with your past clients. Keep in touch with your existing clients. Keep in touch with your circle of influence. Keep in touch with people that you know. If you just make that as a habit, the rest of the day you're free, or you use it for showings, or you do for paperwork or other things. So this is not a very difficult business as long as you have the system. Thank you. Yeah, you have a...
One last question.
Yeah, go ahead.
How long is the advocate for